This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. We're here in Qatar, the Supercard. It's Sunday. Fight week starts on a Sunday. It's weird.
Look what I painted earlier. Look at that.
Very picturesque, isn't it?
This has got to be the best ever IFL backdrop. Only Coogan missing.
So now we've got to get a really good thumbnail of you with that backdrop.
I would expect nothing less than that.
Exactly right. Sunday fight week starts. Thursday fight week. Very strange, but good.
Thursday night, rocking week here in Doha. You know, they've done lots in this wonderful country. Small football tournaments. I heard about some World Cup here, and they do the Formula One next week as well. But nothing like Misfits has ever hit Qatar, and I hope they're ready for it.
Right, I want to ask kind of some questions for the people who don't know exactly what's going on. What time does it start on Thursday?
So it will start, and that will. The press conference is tomorrow. These are just the arrivals tonight. It will start late afternoon, live on DAZN, but we'll give you the exact timings closer to Thursday. Still working on a few things there. It's a 10-fight card now. So very, very excited. Of course, everything live around the world on DAZN. Michael Buffer flying in to announce, and we have got the who's who of the crossover world in Qatar. 267 people on our guest lists have flown out here to this week. So, yeah, it's a pretty big entourage we're moving with in Misfits these days, but more the merrier.
Right, who's the biggest name you can reveal who's on the guest list?
Joe Pugh.
Of course.
Easy one. No, you're not going to get out at me today. Come on, we're easing into the fight week. Let's put it this way. Misfits and Formula One in Qatar this week. You're talking A-list. Wait till you see Thursday night. It's going to be insane.
So basically you're going to tell us there's an F1 driver coming?
No. Of course there'll be F1 drivers. Although then again, they're racing the next day, so I'm not so sure about that now. But more the entourage of the Formula One, and it's always good. And Misfits has its very own entourage. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun week. Fun and very spicy week.
HS Tiki Toki on the card after a very extravagant week in Dublin. Are we expecting to see the same? Has he been told to calm it down a little bit, or what's going on?
Yeah, you know, the blood pressure rise when you already mentioned the name in an interview, let alone see him out here in the flesh. But listen, the card has got loads of characters on there. I told everyone they've got to be on best behaviour. We're representing this Misfits, and we're representing in Qatar this week. It's a new chapter for us over here. So hoping very much that everyone's on best behaviour, but it is Misfits.
Exactly.
I apologise now.
Yeah. Could this be an annual event if all goes well?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's the first time there's any sort of boxing here. I can hear traditionalists already saying it's not boxing, it's crossover boxing. Well, unfortunately, it is part of boxing. So, no, we're very excited that it's the first one over here. And then, look, let's show what the numbers it can do, which it always does. And it's exciting to be in a new territory with Misfits, new part of the world.
We're doing face-offs, so can we pick this back up after, please?
Face-offs now, yeah? Wow.
There we go.
Early in fight week.
3 minutes in. Right, we'll pick this back up. Picking this back up. Oh, we actually got the face-off going now with Gib and Slim.
Well,
You have to do that. Jane, you got to be in the middle.
No, I want the sit in the middle. No, not my ugly mug in the middle of that. There'll be enough of that this week.
This is a good fight. This is the main event, isn't it? This is a proper, like, high-level Misfits fight.
Yeah, this wouldn't go amiss on a pro show for sure. It's the most talked about, like, in terms of getting big fights on in this space. Obviously, the one the biggest one is obviously KSI Jake Paul, but this is definitely the longest running feud between the two crossover guys. If you don't know this space, Thursday night on DAZN, Slim versus Gib. And this could get quite heated now. We're going to have a few of these face-offs this week, so hopefully this doesn't... they're quite close to the edge of the balcony there.
Yeah. The thing is, they're going to be They're going to be in close quarters this week for a long time.
It's exciting watching a face-off with you, Joe. Yeah. But yeah, look at the backdrop. It's gone off okay. Slim's still having a look, but yeah, okay.
That's the second time that's happened. Gibb moves away from the face-off quite quickly. Can you read much into that?
No, I mean, I've given up trying to work out face-offs. The one thing I learned years ago was toes. So at a weigh-in, the toes of a fighter will show their levels of nervousness. I'm going to say who told me this. Came out of the eastern part of Europe, an old coach, and he said, always look at the toes, because if someone's very nervous, the toes will be alert. I'm just telling you what he said, and actually it makes sense.
Has this got anything to do with the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson thing last week? Because obviously Jake stepped on Mike's toe and that led to the slap of the weight.
I'm not talking about face-off. I'm talking about when they actually stand on the scales.
Oh, okay.
So they stand on the scales, and you know, if they're very nervous, you sort of tense their toes. But yeah, so I have a good look at the old toes to see who's nervous and not.
Did you ever see? We're going really off topic now, though.
I've definitely given it away to with my flip-flops. But yeah, no, you know, face-offs and weigh-ins, everyone's different, you know, and I've heard it all like, oh, he's burning nervous energy and he's going to be drained, and then that guy goes on and like is, you know, next night fit as a fiddle, and I'm like, oh, that expert tell me he had nervous energy. It's like, that's part of boxing, isn't it? Everyone's an expert and everyone reads their little things into things, and that's why you do a face-off ultimately, isn't it?
Very off topic, but did you ever see Derek Chisora's knee go? A lot of people say that his knee went before he went at press conferences.
I've never heard that. I've done a lot of Derek Chisora press conferences. I've had a few tables thrown over me in my time with Derek, but no, I've never seen the knee go, no.
Hearn said that, I think it was Hearn, I've heard that he starts shaking his knees and then you know he's about to go. Like,
no, hold on. Oh, I know exactly what. No, that's true.
Yeah.
So, I know where he's got that from as well, because it was Derek, me, Eddie, Adam Smith, Dillian White, Mark Tibbs. That was the exact order of that press conference. And I thought Derek had nodded off. And he's always got big shades on, big gold black shades, and he's sitting there, and Derek, he just says what he wants. That's what I love about him. But I just remember Dillian had been ranting on and calling him this, that, and the other. Didn't react at all. Then he said something, and I've got, maybe I should go back and look at it again. But he said something which wasn't even that. It was something that triggered him, and suddenly you felt under the table. Obviously, Derek's knees are, anyways, being a big man, are pretty close to that table, and the table started to vibrate. And then I've sort of popped up, and the table is literally starting to vibrate. And then the hands have come down. I think it was 2 bangs, and the table has gone whoosh. And I swear to God, it's gone past Mahuta like that. It's gone over Eddie, and Eddie said he's just done one of them. It's gone over Adam Smith, and it's sort of landed, and the rest is all history.
yeah, well, I had to kind of edit a piece together, and that included that last week, so I rewatched that. Mark Tibbs is the best of that. Mark Tibbs is the best.
Mark was lightning fast, and that the whole thing's hysterical. Like my reactions were, "Ah!"
Mike Goodall trying to calm down Derek Chisora.
Yeah, and I think Nissa was in there too. But don't forget, we had another mad one with Derek in Hamburg. It was Hamburg. He was fighting Kubrat Pulev, and it was madness. He was chasing this fella through the hotel, and to be fair, Derek, this fella hit him over the head with an Evian bottle. You know, it was craziness. We were like this super posh, old school hotel in Germany, and you got Derek and about 20 photographers running through the kitchens because he's chasing this guy who's from the Bulgarian team who's done a runner into the kitchens. unfortunately, it was a dead end.
What's your relationship like with Derek Chisora now?
Really good, really good. Yeah, really good. Privately, he's very good. Listen, I've enjoyed working with a lot of fighters over the years, and you know, me and Derek, we've had lots of ups and downs professionally. Starting in Helsinki with Robert Helenius, I'm not going to mention that actually. That was many moons ago. We had great times.
Right, yeah, went on the Derek Chisora tangent there. Let's talk about King Kenny and Salt Pappy.
He would fit well into this Misfits scene though, Derek Chisora, wouldn't he?
Could you envision him retiring for like 5 years, then come back and fight on Misfits?
I think we've already signed a few pros. Maybe a Derek Chisora fight in the near future in the Misfits space. You know, why not? Why not? I mean, he certainly has those viral moments. That's for sure.
Who would you put Derek Chisora in against on the Misfits space then?
Look, I've heard they're making the Gerald Miller fight. I mean, that's a fantastic fight. That would fit sort of the Misfits as well. You know, but no, who would you like to see Derek fight? Like, I don't know. Ngannou. It's a shout out there, isn't it?
Like Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar, yeah. Hulk Hogan. No, it's a bit old.
You're going into Jake Paul, Mike Tyson territory now.
I'm Hulk Hogan. No, I'm not going to do that. Poor old
Thunderlips, Rocky 3.
old Hulk.
Right. Can we talk about Qatar?
Sylvester Stallone.
Right, Qatar. King Kenny Salt Pappy is a great fight. Does the winners fight the winner of the main event?
This is Crossover's Super Bowl this year. Tune into the zone, watch the madness unravel here in Doha in a fantastic arena. We've got 10 fights in the crossover space. It truly is the Super Bowl of the year. Very, very excited.
Okay, let's go back to Tuesday. You recovered from that mad press conference?
I think, I had to recover. Yeah, I mean, like we just talked about Derek Chisora press conferences. I've had good training over the years. But no, it was wild. Did a lot of views. It's done a lot of tickets. It was the talk of the town the next day, wasn't it? So yeah.
Are you surprised by how many tickets and how much traction this has done?
I think, I'm not really that surprised because when we put it together, I said to myself, it's one of those fights you think about, but you wouldn't imagine happening. And again, credit to people who did know and didn't spoil it, because I thought the element of surprise on the Sunday was part of the magic of it. And it's quite nice to occasionally get a sneaky one in like that, especially on a big one that hasn't, broken. And, I get that people like to break things in the day and age of social media clout, but sometimes it's nice to know something and when it's announced, you say, oh, I knew that, But there were a few people outside the circle who knew and didn't say anything. I'm impressed.
I was shocked. I was very shocked. I was told about it. I'm not going to tell you where I heard about it, but I forgot about it, and it comes.
But Joe, you get much more of a real reaction to it. If it's a rumour, people are like, oh, I don't know about that, And yeah, sometimes we might test the water with ideas and put it out there, with honourable people like yourselves and say, oh, Joe, did you know?
You leak stuff. You leak fake news.
You don't leak fake news, but rumours just to how big is it? These are important decisions for us running a business. How big is that? This one was one that we just backed the instinct on, and it was good to see. And by the way, there was a big minority who say, "Oh, what a shit fight and all that." Okay, I can take that, but I'll go with the 99% who said, "Wow, that's mad," but I'll watch.
Do you think we'll ever see KSI Jake Paul?
I do. I think one day, once, I was going to start with once upon a time in a land far, far away. I don't know. Tend to hope whether it's in the crossover space, traditional space, that any sport that mega things get put together, and it's it's a fight that obviously in this space has been talked about for a long period of time. So yeah, I always believe.
What do you think about fighters like Daniel Dubois and Beterbiev, Ryan Garcia calling out Jake Paul?
I had this time with Myris Bridis when he was cruiserweight champion of the world, and he was running around with Super Mario things on and chasing Jake Paul. I get it. I think it's all a bit of tongue in cheek. I don't really think that Artur Beterbiev, one of the greats of the sport, is too fussed about it. But it's a good way to build your name in the mainstream, isn't it? Let's face it. I mean, sure, Jake Paul's a very brave young man, but it's different things what you put on social media and then actually do in life. And I'm sure Artur Beterbiev is not top of his wish list.
Last one, and we will kind of sprinkle in a bit of traditional boxing throughout the week. So, one normal boxing, shall we call it, question. Last week, Coogan interviewed Ben Shalom in Saudi Arabia for the Latino card, and he said that he'd be making an offer for Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. If Ben Shalom was the promoter to get that over the line, would you feel a bit frustrated, a bit jealous that you couldn't get that fight over the line?
No. I don't quite work on that way. I mean, jealousy is something that I reserve for other things in life. Look, I genuinely hope that fight gets made because then eventually it will go away. I think that there isn't really many avenues now. It's like the avenues have all closed, and that's the fight that will get made. It seems like Canelo definitely doesn't seem like he wants to fight Eubank. So what's the biggest payday? It's Conor Benn. So I don't know. That's what I think. It will take an extraordinarily high guarantee to Chris Eubank Jr. Which I know the numbers of the fight in and out. So I think it can only come. Well, either he'll take the money that was on the table before, or it will take some sponsor or a deal with Riyadh season to make that fight happen. Or he goes down in what he wanted before. One of the two. Simple as that.
So there has to be a compromise from Chris Eubank Jr.'s behalf.
The discussions we had before were always based on a pay-per-view, that hasn't changed, and a stadium fight in the UK. So the numbers are the same. There's no hiding in a boxing budget. We all know our stuff. So like I said, it will be that same money, or there's a new sponsor or a partner, and that could be in the form of Riyadh season. But we're not party to it. I can only give you, as you've asked the question, a bit of background to it. But that's really it. So it's either Eubank settles for money that maybe isn't at the level he wanted before, or he gets more money via a third party. And at the same time, Conor Benn's going to want a lot more money now as well, because I think he's been cleared, so he's going to certainly want a lot of money. So it's an expensive fight to make, but it all depends on people's expectations.
Excellent, Klle. Thank you very much for being to IFLTV. So we've got the grand arrivals today. The press conference tomorrow, actually.
Fight night on Thursday. Tomorrow's the press conference, which is going to be spectacular as always with Misfits. Live on DAZN and Misfits Boxing YouTube. Then we got Tuesday. We have the workouts, which are down by the beach, which is going to look fantastic. Going to be amazing workouts on Tuesday, and Wednesday the big weigh-in in the Coliseum here. So that's going to be fantastic as well. So big week, of course, all live and exclusive on DAZN from the city of Doha. Very, very exciting.
Very exciting indeed. I'll see you throughout the week. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Ah.